The rain pounded against the tin roof of Sarah Montgomery's ranch house like a relentless accusation, each drop echoing the hollow ache in her chest since her husband Tom's death 6 months ago. She stood by the kitchen window, staring out at the endless Texas plains, her coffee growing cold in her hands. Suddenly, a sharp knock shattered the silence, pulling her from her grief-stricken reverie. Sarah opened the door to find 2 young women, identical twins soaked to the bone, their faces pale and drawn under the porch light. "Please, ma'am," one of them stammered, her voice trembling with exhaustion and fear. "Take us as your workers. We'll do anything." The other twin clutched her sister's arm, eyes wide with desperation, as if their very lives hung on Sarah's next words. Sarah blinked, taken aback by the sight. The twins couldn't have been more than 25, with matching auburn hair plastered to their foreheads and clothes that spoke of hard times, faded jeans and threadbare shirts. "Who are you?" she asked, her southern drawl laced with suspicion. The ranch had been struggling since Tom's passing. She could barely keep it afloat herself, let alone hire help. But something in their pleading eyes stirred a long-buried compassion in her. "I'm Emily," the bolder one said, stepping forward slightly. "This is my sister Ella. We've been on the road for weeks, ma'am. Lost our jobs up in Dallas. Family turned us out when they found out. Well, about us." Ella nodded, her gaze dropping to the muddy boots on Sarah's welcome mat. Sarah's heart twisted. She knew that look all too well, the shame of secret society deemed unacceptable. "Come in out of the rain," Sarah sighed, gesturing them inside. The kitchen smelled of fresh-baked bread, a habit she clung to for normalcy. As the twins dripped water on her linoleum floor, Emily continued, "We're hard workers. We can mend fences, tend livestock, cook, clean, anything to earn our keep." Ella added softly, "We just need a chance, ma'am. Please." Sarah poured them coffee, her mind racing. The ranch was vast, 500 acres of cattle and crops, but lonely. Tom's accident had left her widowed at 38, with no children and debts piling up. Hiring strangers was risky, but these 2 seemed genuine in their desperation. "Why me? Why this ranch?" she probed. Emily exchanged a glance with Ella. "We heard about your place from a trucker in town. Said you might need hands since your loss. We're sorry about that." Sarah's eyes welled up unexpectedly. It had been months since anyone acknowledged her grief so directly. "All right," she said after a long pause. "You can stay in the guest cabin. Trial basis. Prove yourselves and we'll talk pay." The twins' faces lit up with gratitude. As they settled in that night, Sarah watched from her window as they unpacked their meager belongings. Little did she know, this act of kindness would unravel threads of her own hidden desires, weaving a tapestry of love, betrayal, and redemption. Over the next few weeks, Emily and Ella threw themselves into the work. Emily was the firecracker, quick with a laugh, strong as any ranch hand, fixing the old tractor with a mechanic's intuition she'd picked up from odd jobs. Ella was quieter, more introspective, with a gentle touch for the animals. The cows seemed to calm under her care, and she had a knack for spotting sick calves before symptoms showed. Sarah found herself drawn to their company. Evenings around the dinner table became a ritual, sharing stories under the warm glow of the chandelier. "Tell me about Dallas," Sarah asked one night, passing the mashed potatoes. Emily leaned back, her eyes sparkling. "Big city lights, but it chewed us up. We were waitresses, then factory workers. But when our folks discovered Ella and I together, they called us abominations." Ella blushed, but Emily held her gaze steady. "We're twins, ma'am, but more than that. We love each other. Always have. Society doesn't get it, but it's who we are." Sarah nodded, swallowing hard. She'd buried her own attractions to women deep down, married Tom Young to fit the mold. His kindness had made it bearable, but now, alone, those feelings resurfaced like ghosts. As days turned to months, bonds deepened. Sarah taught them horseback riding, galloping across the sun-kissed fields. Emily's bold spirit challenged Sarah, making her laugh for the first time in ages. "You're tougher than you look, Sarah," Emily teased after a long day branding cattle. Sarah felt a flutter she hadn't known since college, when she'd crushed on her roommate but never acted. Ella, meanwhile, shared quiet moments with Sarah in the garden, planting tomatoes under the vast Texas sky. "You've given us a home," Ella whispered one afternoon. her hand brushing Sarah's as they weeded. The touch lingered electric. Sarah pulled away, confused, but the seed was planted. Tension simmered beneath the surface. Emily noticed Ella's growing affection for Sarah and felt a pang of jealousy. "She's just being kind," Emily warned her sister one night in their cabin. "Don't get ideas. We can't risk losing this." But Ella's heart was already wandering, dreaming of a life beyond their twin bond. One stormy evening as thunder rolled, Sarah confessed over whiskey. "I envy you too. Loving freely, even if the world hates it." Emily reached across the table, her fingers intertwining with Sarah's. "You can have that too," she said softly. The air thickened with unspoken desire, setting the stage for the drama to unfold. The Texas summer heat baked the earth, turning the ranch into a shimmering mirage of dust and determination. Sarah, Emily, and Ella fell into a rhythm, their days filled with the grunt of labor and the quiet comfort of companionship. But beneath it all, emotions swirled like gathering storm clouds, threatening to break. Emily's boldness grew, her flirtations with Sarah becoming more overt. During a cattle drive as they herded the herd through a narrow pass, Emily rode up beside Sarah. "You handle that horse like a pro," she shouted over the mooing. Sarah smiled, cheeks flushing not just from the sun. Years of practice. That night around the campfire, Emily sang old folk songs, her voice husky and inviting, eyes locked on Sarah. Ella watched from the shadows, her heart aching. She loved Emily fiercely. Their bond as twins and lovers had been their anchor through rejection and hardship. But Sarah's presence stirred something new in her, a longing for individuality, for a love that wasn't shared. "Why do you look at her like that?" Ella confronted Emily later, in the dim light of their cabin. "Like what?" Emily shot back, defensive. "She's lonely, Elle. We both see it." Ella's eyes filled with tears. "But you're mine. We're us." Emily pulled her close, their embrace familiar yet strained. "We are. But maybe there's room for more." The words hung heavy, planting seeds of doubt. Sarah, oblivious at first, grappled with her own turmoil. In town for supplies, she overheard whispers at the general store. "Those twins at the Montgomery ranch. Unnatural if you ask me." The judgment stung, reminding her of her buried past. Back home, she confided in Ella while mending a fence. "People talk. Does it ever get easier?" Ella hammered a nail, her movements deliberate. "Not really. But you find strength in who you love." Their eyes met, and for a moment the world narrowed to just them, the scent of hay, the buzz of cicadas. Sarah felt a pull, magnetic and terrifying. That evening, as Emily prepared dinner, Sarah and Ella shared a stolen glance that spoke volumes. The turning point came during the annual county fair. The three attended, a rare break from ranch life. Amid Ferris wheels and cotton candy, Emily won a stuffed bear at a shooting game and presented it to Sarah with a wink. "For the bravest woman I know." Sarah laughed, but Ella's smile faltered. Later, as fireworks lit the sky, Ella pulled Sarah aside behind the barns. "I can't stop thinking about you," Ella whispered, her voice breaking. Sarah's breath caught. "Ella, this is complicated." But before she could protest, Ella leaned in, their lips brushing in a tentative kiss, soft, electric, filled with years of repressed longing. Sarah pulled back, eyes wide, but the damage was done. Emily, searching for them, witnessed the moment from afar, her world shattering. Betrayal ignited like dry tinder. Back at the ranch, Emily confronted them in the kitchen, her face a mask of hurt and fury. "How could you, Elle? After everything?" Ella sobbed. "I didn't mean to. It just happened." Sarah stepped between them, guilt weighing heavy. "This is my fault. I should have set boundaries." The argument escalated, voices echoing through the house. Emily accused Ella of abandoning their bond, of chasing something illusory. "We've always been enough for each other," she yelled. Ella retorted. "Maybe I want more than hiding in the shadows." Sarah tried to mediate, but the rift deepened, exposing cracks in their fragile unity. In the days that followed, the ranch became a battlefield of silence. Emily threw herself into work, avoiding both. Ella sought solace in Sarah's company, their conversations turning intimate, sharing dreams of a life unafraid. "I've never felt this way," Sarah admitted one twilight, as they watched the sunset from the porch. Ella's hand found hers, a quiet promise. But Emily's pain festered. In a moment of weakness, she confided in a neighboring rancher, old Mr. Harlan, about the troubles at home. Word spread like wildfire through the small town. Rumors of scandal at the widow's ranch. Soon suppliers hesitated, banks called in loans early. Sarah faced the backlash head-on, her grief compounded by isolation. One night, as the norther blew in cold and fierce, Emily packed her bags. "I can't stay," she told Ella, tears streaming. "You've chosen her." Ella begged her to reconsider, but Emily drove off into the darkness, leaving a void that echoed through the empty cabin. Sarah held Ella as she wept, their embrace a bittersweet comfort. But the departure marked the beginning of deeper trials. As external pressures mounted and internal doubts grew, would their love withstand the storm? Or would betrayal's shadow consume them all? The ranch felt emptier without Emily's laughter, the days stretching long and lonely. Sarah and Ella navigated their budding relationship cautiously, stolen moments amid chores, a brush of hands while feeding horses, whispered confessions under starlit skies. "I never thought I'd find this again," Sarah murmured, her fingers tracing Ella's cheek. Yet guilt gnawed at them. Ella missed her twin profoundly, their connection severed like a limb. Letters went unanswered. Emily had vanished into the vast American landscape, perhaps back to Dallas or further west. Sarah encouraged Ella to reach out, but fear held her back. As autumn painted the Texas hills in hues of gold and crimson, the ranch's troubles intensified. Whispers in town turned to outright hostility. Graffiti on the barn reading "Sinners Out." Anonymous calls threatening foreclosure. Sarah confronted the bank manager, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. "This is harassment," she declared. But deep down, she wondered if inviting the twins had cursed her haven. Ella stood by her, fierce in loyalty. "We'll fight this together," she vowed, helping reinforce the fences against vandals. Their love blossomed in adversity. Nights spent talking by the fire, sharing vulnerabilities. Sarah revealed her college crush, the fear that had driven her to marry Tom. "He was a good man, but I lived a lie." Ella listened, her empathy a balm. "You're free now. We both are." But Emily's absence haunted them. One evening a letter arrived, postmarked from Austin. Emily's handwriting jagged with emotion. "I can't forgive yet. But I miss you. I'll tell Sarah. I'm sorry for the mess." Ella clutched it, tears falling. "She started the rumors," she confessed to Sarah. "In anger to hurt us." Betrayal cut deep, but Sarah saw the humanity in it. Pain makes us do foolish things. We all have. They decided to track Emily down, driving to Austin under the guise of a supply run. The city buzzed with energy, skyscrapers piercing the sky, music spilling from bars. At a dingy motel, they found her, waitressing at a nearby diner. The reunion was explosive. Emily's eyes widened at the sight of them, dropping a tray with a crash. "What are you doing here?" she hissed, pulling them into the alley. Ella embraced her, sobbing. "We need you home." Emily pulled away, hurt etched on her face. "Home? Where I was replaced." Sarah stepped forward. "You weren't replaced. I care for both of you in different ways. But Ella loves you most." The words hung raw and honest. Emily broke down, admitting her jealousy had blinded her. "I spread those rumors to push you away, to make it easier to leave. I'm so sorry." Forgiveness didn't come easy. Back at the ranch, tensions simmered as Emily reintegrated. She and Ella rebuilt their bond slowly. Long walks, honest talks. But Emily's eyes lingered on Sarah too, complicating the dynamic. "I see why you fell for her," Emily admitted to Ella one night. "She's special." The high point came during Thanksgiving. Sarah prepared a feast: turkey, cornbread, pecan pie, inviting the twins to share. As they sat around the table, gratitude flowed. "You've given me family again," Sarah said, toasting. Emily raised her glass. "And you've shown us grace." Ella smiled, her hand squeezing Sarah's under the table. Yet drama lurked. A local developer, sensing weakness from the scandals, offered to buy the ranch cheap. "Take it, widow. Save yourself the shame." Sarah refused, but the pressure mounted. Cattle mysteriously sickened, fences cut. Suspicion fell on Harlan, the neighbor Emily had confided in. Confrontation ensued. Sarah, with the twins flanking her, rode to Harlan's property. End this, she demanded. Harlan sneered. Your kind ain't welcome. Emily stepped up, voice strong. Our kind? We're people same as you. Back off or we'll expose your sabotage. Intimidated, Harlan backed down, the threats ceasing. In the aftermath, the three women grew closer, their relationships evolving. Emily and Ella reaffirmed their love, but included Sarah in a platonic yet profound way. A chosen family. Sarah felt whole, her widow's grief easing into hope. Winter brought clarity. As snow dusted the plains, a rare Texas treat, they huddled by the fire. I've been thinking, Sarah said. We could expand the ranch, turn it into a sanctuary for folks like us. Rejected, needing a start. The twins' eyes lit. A safe haven, Ella echoed. Emily nodded. Where love isn't judged. The idea ignited passion. They planned dreaming big. But underlying tensions resurfaced when Emily confessed lingering feelings for Sarah. It's not jealousy anymore. It's admiration. Sarah, touched, navigated carefully. We can care without crossing lines that hurt. The climax built during a fierce blizzard. Power out, they barricaded in the house. Huddled for warmth, truth spilled. Ella admitted her fear of losing both. I love you, Em, but Sarah's part of me now. Emily sighed. And mine. Sarah mediated. Love isn't finite. We can share it differently, as friends, family, more if it fits without pain. The storm passed, revealing a transformed landscape. So too their hearts, forged stronger through conflict. Emily chose to stay, embracing the complexity. The ranch thrived, whispers fading as their resilience shone. Yet not all wounds heal cleanly. Emily's betrayal lingered as a scar, a reminder of fragility. But in that humanity lay their strength, imperfect yet enduring. Spring arrived like a promise, wildflowers blooming across the Texas fields, as if celebrating the ranch's rebirth. Sarah, Emily, and Ella transformed their vision into reality, renovating the guest cabins into safe spaces for LGBTQ+ folks seeking refuge. Word spread quietly through networks, drawing a few wanderers. A young trans man escaping family rejection, a lesbian couple fleeing urban prejudice. The work was grueling but fulfilling. Emily took charge of construction, her mechanical skills shining as she hammered beams and wired lights. This place will be a beacon, she declared, sweat glistening. Ella handled outreach, her gentle nature putting newcomers at ease. Sarah managed finances, negotiating with sympathetic suppliers to keep costs down. Amid the bustle, their personal dynamics deepened. Emily and Ella's twin bond mended fully, their love a quiet anchor. But Sarah and Ella's connection evolved into something profound, romantic walks at dusk, shared dreams under the stars. You've awakened me, Sarah whispered one evening as they sat on the porch swing. Ella smiled. And you've saved us. Emily watched with a mix of contentment and wistful envy. She'd come to terms with her feelings, channeling them into friendship. I'm happy for you too, she told Sarah privately. Just take care of her. Sarah nodded, grateful for the blessing. Conflict arose when a newcomer, a charismatic woman named Riley, arrived. Fleeing an abusive ex, Riley bonded quickly with Emily over shared stories of survival. Their laughter echoed through the barns, sparking Ella's insecurity. She's just friendly, Emily assured, but late-night talks between them stirred old jealousies. One afternoon during a community barbecue, Riley confessed her crush on Emily. You're amazing, strong kind. Emily hesitated, glancing at Ella and Sarah across the yard. I appreciate that, but my heart's with my family. Riley nodded, respectful, but the moment sowed doubt. Ella confronted Emily that night. Do you regret staying? Emily pulled her close. Never. Riley's a friend, nothing more. But the exchange reopened wounds, reminding them of past betrayals. Sarah intervened, gathering them for a heart-to-heart. We've been through fire. Let's not let embers reignite. The true test came when Sarah's in-laws visited unannounced. Tom's conservative family, hearing rumors, demanded she sell the ranch. This lifestyle dishonors his memory, his brother snarled. Sarah stood firm, flanked by the twins. Tom would want me happy. This is my home now. The argument escalated with accusations flying. Emily defended fiercely. Love is love, get over it. Ella added softly. We're building something good here. Intimidated by their unity, the in-laws left, but not before vowing legal action over inheritance. Stress mounted as lawyers got involved. Sarah pored over documents late into nights, worry etching lines on her face. Ella comforted her. "We'll win. Truth's on our side." In a pivotal court hearing in the county seat, testimonies poured in, from residents saved by the sanctuary to neighbors witnessing their hard work. Emily spoke eloquently. "We came begging for work but found family. Don't tear that apart." Ella added, "Love heals, let it." Sarah's closing statement moved the judge. "I've lost much but gained more in compassion." The ruling favored them. The ranch remained Sarah's, the sanctuary intact. Victory tasted sweet, celebrated with a bonfire under the Milky Way. "To new beginnings," Sarah toasted. Emily and Ella clinked glasses, their eyes shining. As summer returned, harmony reigned. Riley moved on amicably, finding her path elsewhere. The twins' love endured, complemented by Sarah's presence. Ella and Sarah's romance flourished subtly, holding hands in private, sharing quiet joys. Yet life brought subtle shifts. Emily explored her independence, taking classes in town on sustainable farming. "I want to contribute more," she explained. Ella encouraged, proud of her growth. One reflective evening as fireflies danced, Sarah gathered them. "You've both changed my life. From desperate pleas to this beautiful chaos." Emily laughed. "And you've taught us forgiveness." Ella nodded. "And love's many forms." The ranch became a symbol of resilience, stories of their journey inspiring others. But at its core remained the three women, bound by trials, elevated by humanity. In quieter moments, doubts whispered. Was this sustainable? Could love weather more storms? But they chose faith, embracing the imperfect beauty of their shared path. The years unfolded like chapters in a well-worn book, the ranch evolving into a thriving community hub. By now, a dozen residents called it home, each contributing to the land's bounty. Organic gardens yielding fresh produce, workshops teaching skills for self-sufficiency. Sarah, at 45, looked back with a mix of awe and gratitude. Emily had blossomed into a leader, organizing events that drew allies from across Texas. Her energy was infectious, turning skeptics into supporters. "We've built something real," she'd say, her smile wide. Ella, ever the heart, counseled newcomers, her empathy a guiding light. And between them, their twin connection remained unbreakable, a foundation of quiet strength. Sarah and Ella's love had deepened into a partnership profound and steady. They shared a bedroom now, their days intertwined with affection. Morning coffees on the porch, evening dances in the kitchen to old country tunes. "I never imagined this happiness," Sarah confided one dawn, as they watched the sunrise. Ella kissed her softly. "Neither did I." But life, in its dramatic flair, tested them once more. Emily fell ill, a rare autoimmune disorder, diagnosed after months of fatigue. The ranch rallied, but treatments in Dallas drained resources. "I'll beat this," Emily vowed from her hospital bed, her voice weak but resolute. Ella and Sarah took turns driving her to appointments, the hours on the road filled with reminiscences. "Remember that first rainy night?" Emily teased. "Begging at your door like strays." Sarah chuckled. "Best decision I ever made." Yet fear not, losing Emily would shatter them. In a moment of vulnerability, Emily confessed old regrets. "My betrayal. Spreading those rumors. It nearly destroyed us." Sarah squeezed her hand. "It made us stronger. Forgiven and forgotten." Ella added, "We're family, flaws and all." The crisis peaked during a grueling chemo session. Emily, pale and trembling, whispered to Ella, "If I don't make it, promise you'll live fully with Sarah without guilt." Ella sobbed, "You will make it. We need you." Sarah, witnessing, felt the weight of their interconnected fates. Miraculously, treatments worked. Emily recovered slowly, her spirit unbroken. The experience humanized them further, reminding of life's fragility, the value of every moment. As Emily regained strength, she proposed expanding the sanctuary nationwide, partnering with organizations for broader impact. "Let's turn our story into change," she urged. Sarah and Ella agreed, their trio a force of advocacy. At a national conference in Washington, D.C., they shared their tale. Emily spoke first. From desperation to dignity, we begged for work, found love. Ella followed. Through betrayal and forgiveness, we healed. Sarah concluded. Humanity prevails when we choose compassion over judgment. The audience erupted in applause, offers of support flooding in. Back home, the ranch buzzed with new energy. Grants funding expansions, volunteers arriving. In a quiet epilogue under a harvest moon, the three walked the fields. We've come far, Sarah mused. Emily nodded. From twins begging a widow to this. Ella smiled. And it's just the beginning. The story closed on a note of hope, not fairy tale perfect but richly human. Betrayals forgiven, loves intertwined, a legacy of kindness enduring. In America's heartland, they proved that even in drama's grip, romance and redemption could flourish, one compassionate act at a time. The end didn't tie every loose end. Life rarely does. Whispers occasionally resurfaced, challenges arose. But their bond, forged in fire, held firm. Emily found peace in purpose, Ella in love's depth, Sarah in chosen family. Years later, as gray touched their hair, they sat on the porch reflecting. Worth every tear, Sarah said. The twins agreed, their hands linked with hers. In that circle of warmth, the essence of their journey shone. Love's triumph over adversity, a testament to the human spirit.